I'm going to do something unprecedented for this episode. I need to give Chowder some sort of relief. It has been absurd how many times since I took over as DM Chowder has been forced to do the recap. So please, everybody, roll a d20, but Chowder, you get advantage.
Yay.
All right, natural 20.
So it can still be you.
It's a good thing I have advantage, because I rolled a 2. Come on.
Oh, man.
Come on.
I got an 11.
I got a 9.
11.
8.
Oh my god! Oh my god.
That is terrible.
Oh my god. I thought I was doing it for sure. That stings. That stings. I don't want to say this, but I do think that you have been cursed, possibly, Chowder.
It's so rugged. Why does it keep happening? All right, Chowder, man. I did what I could.
Chowder Man.
The Chowderman.
The New England superhero we all deserve.
You could have taken one for the team and just done it yourself.
I've already done that, and I said I would never do it again, so.
Previously on Dice Populi.
Yeah, I'm fine with this now.
We all used the crystal and, like, ended up in different places that are also the same place. And, like, you know, starting off with Jenna and Maeve, they're like, well, I don't know what to do. Let's go to the church. We were looking for Lema, right? They go into the church of Lema, meet one of the dead people that were met. What's her name again?
Sister Yanis.
Met Sister Yanis, had a conversation with her. They decided they should keep an eye on Sister Yanis so that she doesn't die. And also, Jetta's like, okay, let me use the crystal again. And when she did, she ended up in the same place. With Kalt, he's like, what did he do exactly?
What do Kalt do?
What do Kalt do?
He's chilling.
Well, now I know how much you guys pay attention when you're not active in the story. So, I mean, it's
he barged
fine.
in on somebody's home and then got, we'll say, partially undressed. And then is now having his Gandalf moment, staring into the flames, trying to unravel the mysteries of this transdimensional travel.
And notably, no matter how long he sat there in meditation, the fire seemed to not make any progress burning down the logs.
Yeah, and then with Locke, he talked to a horse boy.
Sure did.
Tried to get a horse. Failed to get a horse. Then he went and met the mother who he met last time he was on Arianor, where he's like, hey, where can I find, what's his name?
Cordell.
Yeah. Where can I find Cornell? He's like, oh, you can find him, blah, 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 blah. Locke's like, okay, I'll stay the night. I don't know what to do after that. Cut back to Jetta and Maeve. Jetta and Maeve. Maeve then tries to use the crystal, ends up in the same place. They're both confused. They decide, okay, I guess we'll just keep an eye on Yanis. Jetta tries to strike a conversation with Yanis, only to find out Yanis doesn't remember the conversation they had like 2 minutes ago. So, that's a mystery.
Yeah. Mysteries abound.
I think that's about it, yeah.
That is about it. Kalt, you are somewhat clothed, fully at unawares, having been in meditation for, I don't know, however long you were focusing on your mind palace as you described it, and are surprised to see that the flickering fire in front of you hasn't burnt down any more than a few seconds worth for all the time that you were resting. Almost as if time hasn't passed the way you expected it to. Big fucking surprise.
Curious, sir, and curious, sir. I must wait a few more hours and to get the bottom of this. No. I am going to go over to where the tea is. I'm going to see if I can find tea. Do I find tea?
Yeah.
I'm going to take all the tea. Like, I'm just going to take all of it. I'm going to make myself a cup, and then I am going to not getting dressed because I still want to be comfy. I am then going to take my robe, lay it over my arm, and then I'm going to cast Prestidigitation. I believe I have that spell. I'm going to cast a cantrip into the crystal with a steaming hot cup of coffee and all of this family's tea. Or not coffee, but tea.
Yeah.
But I will cast Mending into the stone, I suppose.
Did you, like, brew all the tea, or did you just brew a reasonable amount and you have the rest in your pocket?
Oh, well, I made it's more like, what is it called? Our friends from Argentina, matcha.
Aha, yes.
There's like very little water to tea ratio. I'm going fully caffeinated. But yeah, that is the plan, and then I'm going to cast a spell into it, taking the tea with me because he was very rude to me, and I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life. And the next time I find his son, he's going to get wet. That did not sound right.
It sure didn't. Okay, so last question.
Mate, that's what it is. I'm going to do it like mate.
So you have mate in your hand and a crystal in the other. You begin casting mending into the crystal. This is critically important. Have you put your robe back on?
No. I told you, it's over my arm.
I would like you to, as you feel the power flow through your hand into this crystal, and the pressure of the atmosphere around you closes in, please roll a d4.
Oh, I'm going to have to... 3.
Keep rolling 3.
Yeah, I couldn't anticipate that one. You feel the whooshing as the air presses in and releases, and you are catapulted through the cracks between reality, same where you were before that landed you in this sort of midnight version of the town. But in that travel, in the split second you're moving, you feel as though you are jerked to the side, a different direction than before, and you land in the exact same place here, in the house of Lori and Cordell. It is daytime. It is raining, and you're the only one here. The fire is not lit, but the tea is in your hand still steaming because you brewed it, to you, only a moment ago.
Interesting. Very interesting. Hello? No, that's not called. Hello? No,
Hello.
Hello? Oh, it's quite hot.
How loud are you being with that hello? Are you, like, in the same room or, like, screaming like Jetta was?
Kind of like middle. You know, just kind of
Okay,
like,
sure.
you just to see if anybody's home.
There's no response.
Do they have more tea?
You look over where you just brewed the tea at the fire that is clearly unlit, and the same glass jar that you just emptied is sealed shut and chock full of tea.
Well, that's gonna go with me. This is how I can keep track. You guys, it's not just a goof. It's to make sure that when I change realities, these are independent timelines. Read my genius.
Kalt, do you have your pants on?
There is like a Conan the Barbarian-esque pair of underoos that he is wearing.
Okay, so you are standing alone in an empty house with an absurd amount of stolen tea and no pants.
Yeah, well, I wear a
He still
robe, so
doesn't
it's basically the equivalent of a t-shirt pants combo that I take
Sure.
off.
Yeah, okay. How many times has Kalt had to say that to, like, a mall cop?
More than he would like to admit. Seeing that it is daytime, and that daytime is for being dressed, he is not a farmer. He is going to get dressed, and he's going to try and exit this place. With
the
all
door
the tea.
is...
Exit
Yeah.
these nuts.
You go and reach for the door. It is locked, but you're on the inside, so you easily unlock it, shut it behind you, and step out into the rain. You notice a few people rushing about trying to make it back into their homes. Torches are lit. It's daytime. People are out at businesses doing stuff. But, I mean, it's raining. People don't want to be out in the rain.
Excuse me. Have you seen like a tall lizard man or a short demon girl or, just Kalt is having a really hard time figuring.
Yeah.
An orc, a half orc, I believe. A woman, 20-ish years old.
The random passerby, like, holding, like, spare clothing over their head as a makeshift umbrella, like, slows to try to answer your question, but you're just rambling, and they don't have the patience to stand out here getting soaked in. They're like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is you need. I need to get back to the castle. We gotta, best of luck to you. Check the temple. I don't fucking know.
Oh, you know what? I've never been to the temple before. That could be fun.
The temple's easy to spot, even though you're on the far edge of the village. It's tall. It's got a bell.
Maybe I'll get to meet a god this time, stupid fucking bait motherfucker. I'm just gonna meet a god casually. Like. As I'm muttering to myself as I walk towards the church.
Yeah. Your mutterings bounce off the walls around you, dampened by the rain as your feet get soaked in mud. And we're actually going to shift over to Locke while you make this long, wet journey. Locke, you sat down in Lori's house, and she left to enter the back of the house. And you sort of just sat there, reminiscing, contemplating, fiddling with the crystal, and soaking in your surroundings. After a few minutes, you realize that you've just been kind of sitting in a person's house and not doing anything. So, is there anything that you'd like to say or do?
Lori? Lori, you still here?
There's no response.
I will attempt to go find Lori in her own house.
I'd like you to make an investigation check for me.
Alrighty. That's a 12 plus 2, 14.
It takes a bit of poking around, but you've been here before. You know this place. You saw Byron return here safely. You stayed here after the events with Strauss before sailing back to the Liberty. So you're kind of surprised to not find this person anywhere. You make your loop through the house, through the kids' room, through the parents' room, looking out the back door where those animal foot boots were buried. I don't even know if we ever followed up on that. Maybe they're still there. Colin is having a crisis. But you come back into the house looking around dumbfounded as the sun continues to hang on the horizon, and this sunset is lasting inexplicably long. And the other thing that catches your eye, besides the window and the sunbeams coming through it, is the door. It's closed, it's locked, and there are no footprints from when Lori entered the room with you, seemingly 10, 15 minutes ago.
Can I go outside?
Sure. You see that the door is locked, but you're on the inside. You unlock it, and you step outside.
The famous words of a latchkey kid.
Is it still sunset outside?
Still sunset. And you see people making their way back from the center of town. Everybody milling about, chatting, winding down from their day as they make their way home. And you see in the distance among them, you might not have caught this otherwise, but you were just talking to her. And Lori is walking up the same path she just escorted you back before, walking to the house alone.
Lori, hi.
What? Who said my name? Who's that? What? She's like sort of looking around, totally caught off guard.
I'm gonna like wave my arms. It's me, Locke. I just talked to you like 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes? It's Church Day. I haven't seen you in months. What are you doing here on Arianor? Oh my goodness! It's so what? I can never repay my debt to you. Are you friends with you? You must get. She's like hustling up the path now to make it to you. So excited. You must come and stay with us. What is it? What brings you back here?
In the midst of her running up to me, I'm gonna facepalm and just go, "For the love of Gabagool, what's going on?"
Nice.
You seriously don't remember talking to me 20 minutes ago? You brought me to your house.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you. It's Churn's Day.
Oh my god. I'm stuck in a time loop.
Time loop? You're on all that old nonsense again. I should have known to expect this from you and you're the creepy one and the greasy one. Oh, let me tell you, I'm glad that you're the one at my door. They're not. Oh, I said that out loud, didn't I? They're not inside, are they?
Nope, just me.
Well, Cordell will be making his way back from the docks before long. If you want to come in, it'll be a lovely surprise for him, I'm sure.
I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit too long for me to wait for.
Oh, well, if you need to head somewhere else, by all means. There's the middle horse is just around the corner. The temple's been closed, but they're always welcoming of people in need of shelter. So if you don't want to wait for Cordell, there are plenty of places here in Arianor for you.
I appreciate that. I might be back. I'm not. I don't know what's going on. Thank you. Sorry. Bye. And I'm just gonna start moving.
She seems like distraught, kind of like, oh, did I say something wrong? Like what? She's like, well, come back if you need to. And you make your way back down the road that you were escorted up moments ago.
I want to go towards the Mage Lord place where we had our standoff with Strauss.
The Mage Lord Keep isn't too much of a hike up the hill and to the north of the village. To get to the underground place where you actually had a fight with Strauss, that's a couple hours away. That you have to really go out of your way toward. Remember, it wasn't directly connected. You had to take a portal from the castle to that cave. So are you looking to go to the keep or the cave?
I want to go to the cave, but if the best chance of getting there, because I would imagine this time loop is not hours long, is to go through the keep, then yeah, I guess I'll just knock on the keep door and be like, hey, can I take your portal, please?
Yeah. So you make your way up. It takes you maybe about 20 minutes to make it up towards the keep itself. You see that there are still mage lords stationed outside, though it doesn't seem quite as militaristic as it did before. Strangely enough, the sun has not moved, and this is the longest sunset you've ever experienced. And you make it to the Mage Lord Keep, and the guards outside say, yes, hello, how can I help you?
Hi, you might not remember me. I was here about 2 months ago. Last time I was here, there was a portal inside this building that took me to another place that I really need to get to. Is that portal still here?
You're welcome to enter the castle, but I don't really know much about Wait, you said 2 months ago?
Yeah, give or take.
It's Sheridan's Day, right?
Yeah.
You're certainly but 2 months ago, if you're referring to the scandal with the previous administration, rest assured, nothing is left over from that particular encounter. You're more than welcome to peruse the building, but offices are going to be locked down, and I promise there are no active portals here in the building.
No active portals. Okay, that sounds bad.
I mean, it was used for... I don't know if you actually heard. It was used for some pretty bad stuff. I think that shutting the portal down was really in the best interest of the whole village.
Yeah, it's just like I need to get to the place that was on the other side of that portal, and like that's a long time away. I don't think I'm going to be able to get there, so... Oh well, I tried.
When you mention that you're looking for the cave with the fountain that you experienced before, the gentleman says, you're welcome to visit it. It's a bit of a hike. There's a stable actually down near the temple. If you have a couple gold pieces on you, they might be able to rent you a horse. It'll cut that 2-hour journey straight down to 20 minutes.
Yeah, you see, I don't have any gold on me, so that's out of the question. I'm just gonna hoof it. It's fine. I'm okay. I'm a big boy.
All right. Well, hey, man. Best of luck. I hope you find what you're looking for. It's pretty boring down there, but whatever works.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So you turn around, you take a deep breath, you got a hike in front of you, a hike that you've made several times before, as you were preparing a 2-hour on-foot journey to the cave, where you fought Strauss and saw the fountain Telema. Is there anything else you do, or do you just start moving?
I just start moving.
Fantastic. Jeddah and Maeve, you are speaking to Yanis, who does not recall your first interaction in the least, and is very upset that you've broken into what she considers a private area of the church. The rain still cascades off the temple ceiling. What do you do?
You know what? They say you only get one first impression, but I'd like a mulligan on that. I pull out the crystal and I use it.
Okay, what do you cast?
The same thing as last time. Message, right into it. Yep.
Roll a d4.
Roll a d4.
1.
Zip, zap, zoop. You feel yourself whoosh through the tunnels between time and find yourself in the same exact room, in the same exact place, but it is empty. You are surrounded by nothing and no one. But even that's hard to tell because it is the middle of the night and there isn't a person or a torch nearby to notify you of anything. You're alone in this room. What do you do?
Maeve? Anybody? Hello? I thought I knew how this worked, but apparently not.
I have made a huge mistake.
I try to feel my way around this room, find my way out.
I've described this in passing to each of you. You thought you knew how this crystal worked, and you don't. I would like you to make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Arcana check these nuts.
Nat 20!
You, like everybody else, experienced the sensation of being thrust almost through like a tunnel. And this time, it felt like you went down a different tunnel. You ended up with Maeve twice, but this felt like a different journey. As you struggle to understand your surroundings, you turn your attention to the crystal, and you get a sense that there are different paths that you're being thrust down. Something not totally random. This, might seem more obvious from a metagame mechanical standpoint, but in character, Jeddah, you're aware that this crystal is sent you down the same exact tunnel twice in a row, and a different one this time. There's something going on with that branch that you're aware of that maybe the others wouldn't pick up on because they haven't had this experience.
Okay, so there are actually more than one time tunnel I can go down. I just happened to go down the same tunnel last time. I don't know where to go from here, though. Hello? Is anybody home?
It's still pitch black in the room, and nobody is here. But you're in the back of the temple now without any sort of obstruction.
Can I get out of this room? I know it's dark, but...
I mean, yeah, you could feel your way out. If you have, like, lights or torches or anything like that, you feel free to use those as well. But even if you don't, I'll say that you could fumble your way out.
I, go through my stuff, pull out a candle, although I actually don't... Come on, I think it's reasonable. If I have a candle, I have matches to light the candle with, right?
I think that that's pretty fair. And even if there wasn't, you saw different, like, you know, candles, fixtures, paintings, flowers. So even if you don't have something in your pocket, you could probably find something in this room given enough time.
Yeah,
so, yes, I'll say that you
yeah.
successfully light the candle. Having done so, please make a perception check.
Okay. 19 plus... it's 24 altogether.
Okay. You are... You light the candle, and you see the shadows of the tables, the books, the everything in the room move as you move your hand. The door behind you is where you came in, but you now see, without Yanis here to totally rock your fucking world, there's another door in the back of this room leading further into the temple. You can clearly go that way. You can clearly go the way you came. That is what you see.
Well, might as well look around. I go down that door you just mentioned and see what's what.
You make your way across the room, and when you turn the handle of the door and open it, it gives way to not exactly what you expected, a garden. A lovely, quiet series of plants, flowers, organized beautifully with walking paths, all around a central fountain. A stone fixture, like a larger version of what you saw in the temple hall, but it is dry. It's a large room with a glass ceiling, almost like a greenhouse. Nobody's here, and it's beautiful, but nothing really seems to be going on.
You said it was night, right? Can I tell what time?
When you look up through the glass in the ceiling, you see the moon hanging high above, so I will say ballpark midnight.
Everyone just might be asleep then, in which case... Would this church have, like, a place where people sleep?
Yanis expressed to you before that sometimes people are, like, welcomed into the church to do that sort of thing. The only other door besides the one that you just saw is an exit out the back that, like, through the windows you can see clearly just leads straight outside. But back in the previous room, it's sort of a big area. You could poke around there, or you could go to that main hall.
Man, I legit don't know what to do from here. Let's see. I'm gonna exit, come back the way I came.
Exit these nuts.
You make your way through the large open room,
That one's free.
which remains empty. What do you do next?
Leave the church, look around.
You make your way through the main church hall. Again, nobody is there. The temple is completely empty. You do notice that things aren't dressed exactly the same way. It's hard to get a super clear look, but flowers aren't all in the same places. You see some people have, like, left robes on the hook, robes that look like they're not quite as well kept as Sister Yanis's, but, like, subtle differences. Nothing tremendous. Just catches your eye. You also don't really have the context to dig too much deeper because you've never been here before. So you step outside into the open moonlight. Aside from a horse boy, as he has been described, far over by the horse stables, nothing going on. Middle of the night, nice and quiet. It's just you, your crystal, and your candle. Jeddah, dumbfounded, you stare around you trying to figure out what the hell is going on. As Maeve, you just see Jeddah disappear in front of you. And now you definitely have been left alone with Sister Yanis, who is none too happy that you've intruded upon her private space here in the temple. Listen, I don't know what you are up to. I don't know how she just disappeared, but I'm going to have to ask you to leave, please.
Okay, you know you might die, right?
We will all die eventually. Are you threatening me?
YOLO.
No.
Is that a threat?
Nope.
Is that a threat?
No, I promise. It's just like, I don't know what happened, and my friend said that he saw your body, like, dead. No,
it's not a threat, it's a promise.
And, like, I don't know, I'm looking for Lema, and this is where I'm supposed to go, and I'm sorry. I'll just go ahead and leave you be. Go.
Wait, no, what do you mean? Who would want to hurt me? I've been a mainstay of this village. I brought
peace to the natives and the mage lords. I've only tried to teach people what Lema does for us. What is happening to me? Who are you people?
Honestly, I don't know either. So, okay. Good luck.
Wait, young one. You cannot leave me like this. This is... we have to figure out...
And just like that, the tables have been turned. Now she wants me.
So she starts calling for you to stay, trying to figure out what you mean. What is this portent? She's clearly shaken, not just in just like a, oh my God, I've been threatened, but she is like shaken to her core in a pretty serious way. And before she can get much more out of her mind, there's a knocking at the door of the temple that hangs in the air. And she stares at you, Maeve, then glances toward the main door, and she's like touching her face, thinking like, should I get it? Should I not get it?
Okay. You obviously nervous. Why don't you just stay here, and I'll get the door.
And she nods and says, okay. And Maeve, you feeling proud that you've gained the upper hand in this situation, as crazy as it is, you feel like everything is starting to fall under your control. And then you open the door to see Kalt standing in front of you, soaking wet with a tremendous amount of tea.
Howdy, friend.
Oh, she is gonna die, isn't she? Okay, come on in.
That would be a great way to end the episode. If we were okay with like a 30-minute episode, that'd be solid. Wait, who are we killing?
We'll talk later. Did you see Jenna?
No, I did not. You're the first person I've seen with a friendly face here. We are caught in what seems to be a superposition of multiple realities simultaneously, but they all seem to be locked in various time states. I watched a fire for 3 hours.
Yeah, that...
And I brought tea.
Well, I would actually love some tea, thank you.
Some of it's wet, but I...
You mean like most tea?
Touché.
I have 20 intelligence.
I have met my equal.
Would you like to play a game of chess? No.
Echoing from the other side of the temple, Yanis's head is poking out and says, do you know this man? What? Oh my God, it's you. And Yanis like hurries on out and says, what in the world are you doing back here?
Crystal and tea. And it was raining.
You're doing Crystal?
Always. Well, no, we seem to be caught up in a bit of a superposition of timelines. It seems that the timey-wimey bits of string theory have come into play. And, you see, I stole tea from one timeline, and then I transported to another, and there was still tea, which means they are separate and unattached to each other, at least. Or the one I came from was after the one I went to. Things are getting very weird, and like Kalt's eyes begin to like cross.
Yeah. So do Yanis's. Like for the first like few sentences there, she was hanging on, and she just like it gets like She by the end she's interrupting, say like every time you show up to this island, something strange is happening. There, can I trust you both?
No.
You helped us once before, and you.
Wait, what? Yes. Sure. No, you can't. No, the child, yes, but I'm terrible with secrets.
Not trust with secrets, trust you with my life. I am afraid I'm about to embark on a journey from which I won't return.
Jenna said that she saw Sister Yanis here dead on the ground. Remember I said I didn't see anything? Well, I guess, did you see anything?
I saw Chieftain Musak dead.
Chieftain Musak, he was here only last Flurm's Day. He's made his way back to the native camp, and we expect him to come back a week from today. He's alive and well, last that I heard.
Seems. I'm going to take some wild guesses here, and I'm going to straighten my eyes out.
Sure, start doing that now. It's not like you haven't been doing that the whole time.
What I believe could be happening is some form of, like, I call it a superposition, but really it is an undecided point in time. In one possibility, you die. Another possibility is Musak dies. Perhaps there is even a third possibility. We must hope, at least, that there is a possibility where nobody dies. Or at least somebody less, important, I guess. Like a child or something.
What?
Or not you, child. Like a different child.
I do not know if I am to blame, but I feel I must tell you what I've been working on. Yanis beckons for you to follow and hurries into the back room.
And it's a DeLorean.
I don't know the quotes from Back to the Future well enough to riff on this, so I'm just going to give you the W on that.
This is getting heavy, man.
I'm assuming you two follow?
I'll follow the plot line, yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow plot, I guess.
Awesome. You guys follow Yanis into the back room, and all the papers that she was rustling and organizing before, she shows to you, and they look like Kalt writ them. They are scrawlings all across a variety of illustrations, circled bits of words, incantations, things like that. And she says, I was more than thrilled to help settle the dispute between the mage lords and the natives here. It is difficult to reconcile outside forces in a native population, but frankly, given the hand we were dealt, I think we did okay. But one thing stuck with me that I could not forget, and it was that greasy bird-like fellow communed with Lema on a whim, and I have never heard her voice, and I am determined to find out what she is doing here. And I think I found the way. And this is when she starts flipping through the papers, and her eyes are about to go cross, as you can sense like an inhale before a long-winded explanation coming.
Just so I can get this straight, you are in the midst of a project to commune with Lema, and Lema being the being or god of sorts of time.
Lema has purportedly been a spirit that protects the flow of time here on this island, but that protection clearly failed. If what you told us about Byron is true, someone has found a way to usurp this power. She was able to speak directly to your friend, and I have sat here and not heard a word despite a lifetime of patronage.
Well, I mean...
The fountain was supposed to be our conduit. The silver blood of the gods flowed eternally, and nothing? And now nothing? And she's like, not really like making a point so much as he is venting frustration.
Maybe in the silence there are words.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean in the silence?
Or maybe the silence in and of itself is the whole conversation.
Are you telling me to be quiet? Are you saying I'm talking too much?
No. If Lema were to speak to you as you are now, right here, you would stop your pursuit. You would stop vying for her attention so much. Have you ever seen the pickup artist? It's great. He's a great bard.
I'm pretty sure that the person voicing me hasn't seen that at all.
Well, I think Lema is negging.
You two are the worst, just saying.
We don't have a very vibrant theater scene here on Arianor.
I think Lema is negging you.
No.
So Lema is playing the long game in your attentions while you're playing the short game. You're being needy, and she is responding in a way that increases your need.
You can see Sister Yanis process this for a second and immediately become resolute in her position once again. And she says, I don't care what she's doing, how she's treating me. I deserve to hear her say it herself. She huffs, and she hands you the papers, and she says, if you'll step into the garden, I'll be right with you. I have a feeling that you know more about what's going on than I do.
It's probably true.
We can maybe figure this out together.
Maeve, have you ever seen The Pickup Artist?
I start to walk towards the garden.
Right, it's an interesting show. A man who pretends to be mean to women so that they may like him. It's pretty foul, even, but it's good comedy.
This sounds awful.
It's a thing that existed just like 10 years ago.
Oh no, those still exist. Pickup artists.
Oh yeah, they still exist too.
You step into the garden, Maeve, and you know that you're expecting a fountain and you're expecting plants and everything. It's a garden after all. The rain beads off of the glass ceiling above you. You see the fountain, and it is completely dry. Locke, would anything deter you from this path, or are you just hiking for 2 hours until you get there?
I mean, obviously, if there is more information that would come about on my saunter over there.
Yeah, I don't have like an actual. I could pull up a random encounter table, but like, would in your own mind, would you change your mind, or are you
Locke
just like?
Knows that last time when he was in a timey-wimey loop, he had to go to this fountain. There was a conflict, and then it was done. So in Locke brain, solve timey-wimey loop, go fountain, figure it out.
What
All
is
right.
Locke's intelligence? Just so everybody.
Not big.
What is it? What is it?
I think the fact that he used the word big to describe it is the answer.
No, it's not bigly. It's not bigly. But what is it actually?
It's a 14.
That means you're the average idiot. Well, not even the average idiot. The average commoner has a 10, so you are far and above the average commoner.
I have deductive reasoning, and therefore...
You've reached the entrance to the cave, and you know that that's not the end of it. You have to hike through the dank cave. You gotta
Dank cave.
climb down the elevator shaft.
the dank cave.
You gotta make your way through the place where you fucked up that big jelly cube. It's pretty uneventful, all things considered, but you do notice there's like nothing blocking the way before you had to like figure out how to operate everything. Kind of seems like smooth sailing. Kind of seems like there's no monsters lurking around. Like this place has been picked dry since the last time you were here, as though the mage lords have been here. And if nothing catches your attention otherwise, you end up in that room with the fountain. It's big, it's a dome, there's no portal, and in the center is the same fountain as before. And it is completely dry, with no liquid, no nothing. You have traveled several hours on foot here in this eternal sunset, and it is just you, your crystal, and this dry fountain.
I'm gonna go put my crystal in the fountain.
The crystal reacts not too differently than it does to the island at large, which is it thrums and it
buzzing?
vibrates. It's buzzing, and if you set it on the fountain, it buzzes so loudly and so intensely, it starts to move around the surface because it just can't sit still.
And then if I take it out and put it on the normal ground, does it also do that?
It's vibrating, but not with the same intensity.
Without gusto. Okay.
Without gusto.
I only have the one crystal, correct?
You only have the one crystal.
Okay.
You have your crystal and you have your ring.
So I could use the crystal, but then if I leave and my compatriots don't figure this out either, then I'm still stranded without them. I don't. What do I do? What do I do? Think.
Your voice echoes in the room, and you sit here for several moments, realizing nobody's here to tell you what to do.
Hey, Lama, are you here?
There's no response.
This was a shrine to you, was it not? I need some help.
When Locke looked back, there was only one set of footprints because he was being carried the entire time.
Is there is there a sense of desperation in this, or just sort of like confusion?
Yeah, he's out of options now. He thought that this was going to be the answer, and this is not the answer. And he has no idea how to find his homies. So he's just fucking lost.
This is the first time since being captured by the Black Tide that you've been truly on your own.
Yeah.
And even though you're not restrained, you feel as though there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, Locke has deep-rooted abandonment issues, so, like, this feels bad.
You think back to what you experienced when emerging from Nar Enial. Lama was talking to you directly, and that wasn't the first time that had happened. You've been reached out to by this god before. You've had exchanges, although they were confusing and cryptic, and now no voice comes back when you call. The hypocrisy of it, the abandonment, is so potent that I want you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I may have above average intelligence, but I have pretty average wisdom, so that's a 6.
Okay, is that a 6 total?
6 total.
You are frightened, which means you have disadvantage on ability checks if you're in line of sight of the sphere and you can't move towards it. That's difficult because you're afraid of the fact that you are alone. You are compelled so deeply to find the fastest way out of here. And at risk of sounding like I'm putting my thumb on the scale, the crystal is a lot closer than the hike through the cave that you just took.
That's very true. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna get in the confines of the fountain and then cast a cantrip on the crystal.
Roll a d4.
That's a 1.
You, in an absolute panic, grab the crystal without even thinking about what spell you're casting. You feel the energy flow into it as you're catapulted once again through the space between time. The atmosphere pressure grows and releases, and you feel yourself jerked to the side in a way that you weren't before. And you are thrown into the same exact location, but bounced backwards, because where you have landed is the fountain, but it is no longer empty. You have just been thrown back by an enormous towering set of pink crystals, just like the one in your hand, as the Fountain Taeemul has been overtaken by the same material that brought you here to begin with.
Oh no.
Take care of this for me.
You roll your die. Sorry, I'm so brain dead. You
roll these nuts.
Can you roll a D's nuts for me? As you can imagine, I have a lot of information to cross-check here.
Maybe too much information. You ever think about that?
Yes, it's pretty lean, but it's just a lot of dot connecting. Okay,